kicking it off.
Yes, here we go.
The weekend is upon us, and it's this week's edition of Deals Reveal. Top restaurant news, sales, listings, franchise opportunities. We got it all here from We Sell Restaurants, the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm, and I'm Robin Gagnon.
And I'm Rob Morrison. Good afternoon. We're bringing you the biggest news of the week. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or even join our brand as a franchisee, this is the place to be.
We're going to cover it all. Gosh, so much restaurant news, sales, new listings, insider tips on what's moving the market. So make sure our visitors drop questions in the comments so we can answer them live.
That's right. If you're watching live, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. If you're catching a replay, type replay into the comments so we know that you stopped by.
All right, let's dive in. What's happening this week, Rob, in the restaurant marketplace? Here are some of the top insights. Okay, we're going to talk about, this is fun.
It is kind of fun. Yeah.
Right. It's food trends that flopped. All right, these are some of the biggest swings the restaurant industry has taken over the last couple of decades. I don't know if we'll remember those. Concepts that had investors excited, operators building out those locations, food media, they were the next big thing, and then quietly, maybe sometimes not so quietly, they disappeared.
So let's start with cronuts.
Oh, I remember this.
You remember these things? People were just lining up around the block for a croissant donut hybrid. I never actually had one, but the hype was real, and the number of operators who tried to build an entire business around a single novelty item and watched it collapse when the moment passed is a cautionary tale that the industry is still talking about.
All right, I remember that. How about this? Cereal cafes?
Yep.
Who thought this was a great idea? Someone said that the idea was charming and nostalgic. They got a huge press coverage out of the bat, and then the novelty wore off, the math stopped working. Turns out people aren't willing to pay $12 for a bowl of cereal more than once or twice.
Yeah, you can do it in your own kitchen for pennies. Fast casual pizza was another one, right? Supposed to be the next fast casual concept. Build your own, in and out in just 5 minutes. You can customize it, it's affordable. The concept made sense on paper, then several chains raised serious money and expanded aggressively, and most have quietly pulled back or disappeared entirely because the unit economics were much harder to crack than anyone had anticipated.
Wow, we've sold several of those chains too. And then there was the artisanal everything. Artisanal toast, artisanal ice cubes, artisanal water. Some point the market said, yeah, no more, and reminded operators novelty without substance. It's a very short shelf life.
That's right. So the lesson isn't that creative concepts are bad necessarily. It's that trend chasing without fundamentals is a losing strategy. The restaurants that last are built around something real, strong operator, clear customer, manageable costs, and a concept that delivers genuine value beyond those Instagram moments. And here at We Sell Restaurants, we see this play out in valuations every single day. Buyers look past the story into the financials. Make sure yours is telling the right one today.
All right, and now we're going to talk about something that would have sounded like science fiction 20 years ago and is now a very real conversation in the industry. Actually, this is full circle because this was way back when, the automats, right?
Yeah.
But fully automated food concepts. So not a vending machine, robot-operated kitchens, automated ordering and fulfillment concepts where the entire operation really runs with little to no human involvement.
Yeah, that's a very smart call out. There are burger concepts out there right now where a robotic arm is flipping the burgers. Perfect consistency at a fraction of the labor cost. Pizza concepts where the entire production line from dough to box is automated. Coffee kiosks run entirely by robotic baristas producing drinks that score higher in blind taste tests than their human-made counterparts. So it's not the future. It's happening right now.
Okay, so what's the appeal from a business standpoint? Labor, right? Single biggest variable cost in operations. But this, no call-outs. That robotic arm keeps working. No turnover, no training cycles, no scheduling headaches. The machine shows up every day and performs exactly the same way.
But here's where it gets interesting from a transactions perspective. How do you value one of these concepts? Traditional restaurant valuation leans toward owner benefit, sales history, and lease terms, When the labor line looks nothing like a conventional restaurant and the equipment is the business in a way it has never been before, that valuation conversation becomes genuinely a little more complicated.
Yes, and there's also the customer experience question, right? People eat out for reasons beyond food. Hospitality, connection, the feeling of being taken care of. Some concepts need that and always will, but there's clearly a segment of the market, convenience-driven, speed-focused, price-sensitive, where automation is not just acceptable, but preferred.
Automated concepts are going to show up in our market more and more frequently. Buyers, sellers, and brokers who understand how to evaluate them will have a real advantage. And at We Sell Restaurants, we're watching this space closely because the restaurants of the next decade are going to look very different from the ones we grew up with. Visit WeSellRestaurants.com to stay ahead of where this industry is heading.
All right, so now we're going to shift to the emotional side of selling because we spend a lot of time on this show talking about numbers, sales, owner benefit, lease terms, valuation. Today we're going to talk about something that does not show up in the financial package. It's the emotional reality of selling that restaurant you built.
It's a big part of it. For most owners, the business isn't just a business, it's years of their lives. Early mornings and late nights, missed weekends, holidays spent behind the line. It's the regulars who became friends, right? And the staff who became like family. The neighborhood that became part of their identity. Selling that is not just a financial transaction, it's a life transition.
Wow, well said. And sellers who are not prepared for the emotional weight, they can make the worst decisions. They overprice the business because letting go feels easier if the number is higher. They hesitate at the closing table. Even when everything is in order, they second guess offers, genuinely strong ones, because saying yes might feel too final.
Too final. There's also the identity piece that does not get talked about enough. For a lot of owners, the business is who they are. Take that away, and the question of what comes next can feel paralyzing. It's scary, right? We've sat across from sellers who are completely ready financially and completely unprepared personally. That gap can matter more than most people expect.
So the sellers who navigate this the best, really, they start thinking about it early. Not just what the business is worth, but what life looks like on the other side. What they're moving toward, not just what they're leaving behind. That clarity makes every decision in the process cleaner and faster, and it makes you a better negotiator, truthfully. When you're grounded and clear on the goals, you show up differently and you get better results at the table.
Yep, a great certified restaurant broker understands all that. They've walked enough sellers through the process to know when the hesitation is about the deal and when it's about something a little bit more personal. If you're thinking about selling and feeling any of what we're describing here, that's completely normal. You built something real and letting go of it deserves to be handled with care. Reach out to us at WeSellRestaurants.com. Let's have that conversation.
Okay, and let's move on, right?
Shall we? Top new listings this week. We have 3 very different opportunities to talk about, spanning from North Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. We have a turnkey downtown restaurant at an incredible entry price, full bar and fully equipped kitchen in a growing Carolina market, and a high-margin Italian concept steps from the Atlantic Ocean. Something compelling for buyers at every level.
But what connects all 3? Infrastructure already working for you, full kitchens, established equipment, favorable leases, and real cash flow or immediate upside potential. You're not building from zero, you're stepping into something ready to run.
Okay, here we go. The first featured opportunity, listing 38361. It's in Dalton, Georgia, and it's represented by Paul Rogers, listed at $125,000. The second generation 2,700 square foot space seats 68 inside, plus a patio. It's offered as an asset sale here. The kitchen loaded, ready from day one with a convection oven, sandwich prep coolers, ice machine, dishwasher, 3 compartment seat, freezer chest, everything you need in the kitchen. The dining room comes fully appointed with 18 tables, 68 chairs, flatware, decor. The seller will provide 2 weeks of hands-on training, and unsecured lending up to $500,000 is available.
Yeah, and the rent, this is pretty good. Rent's just $1,850 a month for 2,700 square feet, an outstanding number. Current business hours, Monday through Friday, 11 to 2. That's it. So big upside to open on the evenings and weekends going forward. New owner has that upside, so they can do all of these things without spending an additional dollar on build out. The seller's retired and motivated, so the window to step into this one is now.
That's right. All right, how about this one, Robin? Listing 37907.
All right, Belmont, North Carolina, represented by Justin Scotto and listed at $485,000. It's a second-generation restaurant with a full bar, patio, gotta have that, and over $1 million in annual sales. Kitchen, it's built for serious volume. Dual 13-foot hood systems, walk-in coolers, 6-burner ranges, flat top, deep fryers, salamander. It's a lot of stuff. And then the front of the house, POS terminals, beautiful booths and high tops, polished bar, 3-door keg cooler, dedicated wine storage, and an ice machine.
There you go. 3,250 square feet there, 94 seats inside, 14 outside on the patio. Lease is secured through November 2030, which gives a new owner some real stability there. Belmont, as you probably know, Robin, growing trade area with a strong community feel and a consistent customer base. So for an owner-operator or a growing brand looking to expand into the Carolinas, the setup skips the cost and time of building it out. Bring your concept and make your offer today.
All right, third listing this week. We're going to Myrtle Beach. Listing number 38239, represented by Mark Dame, and listed at $499,000. Certified pre-owned. Tell us more.
All right, so over $830,000 in annual sales there, $252,000 in owner benefit. Rent is only 6% of sales, which is important, and it's on a beachfront tourist location.
Ooh, beachfront.
Right, and the weather's warming up. Genuinely rare opportunity and a key driver of those strong margins. The concept is built on an authentic Italian menu, outstanding online reviews, and loyal repeat clientele from both locals and tourists.
Okay, so big information here. The restaurant only operates 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday, dinner only from 4:30 to 10. We're talking about a tourist destination, Myrtle Beach. So a new owner, they can add lunch, breakfast, additional service days in a market where daytime tourist traffic is already exceptionally strong. The kitchen, staffing model and layout, built to support growth. All furniture, fixtures, equipment, kitchen, and bar included with no build-out costs, no permitting delays, no liquor license wait. Step in. Start generating revenue from day one.
So there you go. 3 listings, 3 completely different ownership paths. Low-cost Georgia asset sale with an immediate upside. $1 million Carolina restaurant with a full bar and full kitchen. And a proven beachfront Italian concept with double-digit margins and room to grow. Each one delivering cash flow and infrastructure from day one.
So, if any of these opportunities align with your goals, click Get Complete Package to review the financials and connect directly with the listing broker. Our certified restaurant brokers are ready to walk you through valuation, financing, and every step of closing.
All right. So, something tells me you have some top insights for sellers right about now.
I think the screen is telling you that, because here is something most restaurant sellers never consider until it's too late, and it's timing. Not just when you decide to sell, but where your business is in its cycle when you do.
Right. Most sellers list when they're tired, right? The lease is coming up, they've had a tough year, or when life circumstances force their hand. We completely understand that, but here's the reality. It's often the worst time to go on the market because buyers are looking at your most recent performance first.
That is such a great point, because the sellers who walk away with the strongest valuations are the ones listing on the way up, when sales were trending in the right direction, when the dining room was full and the numbers told a growth story. So a business showing momentum commands a completely different conversation, right, than one that is flat or declining, even if the underlying operation is solid.
Sure, just think about it from the buyer's point of view. They're not just buying what the business did last year, they're buying what they believe it will do under their ownership. If your sales trajectory is pointing up, that belief comes easy. If it's pointing down, they start discounting, asking more questions, and pushing back on that price.
So if business is good now, that is actually the moment to at least have this conversation. You don't have to be burned out or backed into a corner to explore what your restaurant is worth. And in fact, the best time to find out is when you have the leverage.
So a certified restaurant broker can give you a valuation today so you know exactly where you stand. No pressure, no obligation. Just a clear picture of what your business would command in today's market and what steps, if any, could move that number higher before you list. Reach out to us at We Sell Restaurants. Let's have that conversation.
All right, and now we're going to shift top insights for buyers. Here's something buyers almost never think to ask about when evaluating a restaurant. It's a lease. Not what it costs, that comes into play, but what it actually says and what it means to your future as the owner.
Many buyers zero in on the sales numbers, the equipment, concept, location. All that matters, of course, but the lease is the document that governs everything, determines how long you can operate, what you can and cannot do in that space, whether you can transfer ownership smoothly, and what your occupancy costs look like over the life of your ownership. Great restaurant on a bad lease is a real problem, and it's one that does not always reveal itself until you're ready or already too deep into the process.
So here are the things that matter most, right? How much term is left and what renewal options exist. Whether the lease is assignable, meaning it can transfer to you as the new owner without the landlord using it as an opportunity to renegotiate from scratch. In some instances, terminate the lease. What the annual rent escalations look like over time, whether there are personal guarantee requirements and how that exposure is structured, and whether there are any exclusivity clauses that either protect your concept or restrict what you could do in the future.
Sure. We've seen deals where everything looks perfect on paper. The lease creates a serious obstacle at the closing table. Now we have trouble. And we've seen buyers walk away from strong businesses because they did not understand what the lease actually allowed. Neither situation has to happen if you know what to look for going in. Lease is not a formality, it's one of the most important assets or liabilities that transfers with the business.
It's also worth knowing that leases are negotiable. Landlords, they want stable, qualified tenants. So if you're coming in as a well-prepared buyer with a solid plan and a broker who knows how to have that conversation, there may be room to improve terms. Additionally, always extend options, clarify language. That leverage exists, but only if you know how to use it.
That's right. It's one of the most valuable things a certified restaurant broker brings to the buy side of a transaction. We read the leases every single day. We know what the terms are standard. We know what terms are negotiable. We know what terms should give you pause before you take one step further. That experience can save you from a costly mistake or help you unlock better terms than you would have if you were negotiating on your own.
Okay, so moral of the story, before you fall in love with a listing, make sure someone who knows restaurant leases has looked at it with you. Number one, the number on the listing page is the starting point. What's in that lease document can determine whether the deal is actually as good as it looks.
All right. So let's talk about some deals where we got it right.
Yes, and we looked at those leases because every closed deal leaves a trail. It shows you what buyers are prioritizing right now, what sellers are walking away with, whether the transaction held together the way it was supposed to. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on two very different sales in different markets because the details of how those deals come together say a lot about what's working in restaurant resales right now.
How about this one, closing in less than 25 days?
Record setting, right?
Wow. Yeah, a veteran who built an award-winning restaurant and bar in Osage Beach, Missouri, made the honest and difficult decision to step away. And a couple who had been saving for years towards a very specific dream finally found their restaurant. The other brought together a 30-year industry veteran in Lakeland, Florida, who was ready to simplify his life, and a first-time buyer smart enough to keep that experience in the building long after closing day.
Okay, so we're going to go to Missouri first, listing 26522, closed by certified restaurant broker Sam Hopkins of our corporate office here in Daytona area. The seller was a veteran who came home from military service and built something the community recognized and celebrated. It was an award-winning restaurant and bar built on hard work. genuine hospitality, and the kind of operational commitment that does not happen by accident. But years of military service had taken a physical toll he had not fully anticipated, and his body could no longer keep up with the demands of running a high-capacity operation at the level it deserved. The decision to sell, it wasn't made lightly. It was made with honesty and clarity and with a genuine desire to see the business land in the right hands.
And the buyers had been saving for years, not casually thinking about ownership, but actively working towards a specific dream, their own authentic Mexican restaurant. They knew what they wanted, they knew what they were willing to do to get there, and when this listing came across their radar, it checked every box. Local business, a proven space, a price within reach. They didn't hesitate, they moved quickly, and Sam was there to keep everything aligned from contract to close. Like we said, in less than 25 days, a veteran passed the keys to a couple who spent years earning them. It's a handoff that is worth celebrating, and we did.
Oh, right. Love that story. Okay, our second featured listing is 12556, a sale in Lakeland, Florida, closed by certified restaurant brokers Michael and Abby Spazzeri of We Sell Restaurants, Florida. So, this seller, he brought over 30 years of restaurant industry experience to the transaction. He wasn't wrapping up a struggling operation. He had another location running and was actively involved in the industry. His decision to sell came down to family and timing. His kids headed off to college. Running 2 locations no longer fit the lifestyle he wanted. He made the call to simplify on his own terms, as we spoke earlier, from a position of strength.
And the buyer was a first-time restaurant owner, and he approached it exactly right. Evaluated the location and the financials and the people behind the business before making any decision. And when everything checked out, he moved forward with a clear plan. Close the deal and keep the seller engaged as a consultant.
Such a smart idea.
Right? He was not just buying the restaurant, he was buying access to 30 years of experience, and he made sure that he was acquiring both. Michael and Abby built a transaction that didn't end at the closing table. The seller stayed on as a consultant, giving the new owner a resource most first-time buyers never have access to.
Great story. 2 markets, 2 completely different stories, 2 buyers now in business. A veteran's legacy passed to a family who spent years prepping for this. A 30-year operator's knowledge passed to a first-time owner ready to put it to work. That's what this process is supposed to look like.
Perfect. If you're thinking about selling your restaurant, or if you're ready to buy one, visit WeSellRestaurants.com and connect with a certified restaurant broker in your market. These stories happen every week, and yours could be next.
Okay, moving on to hot new listings. Hot new listings, 2 strong opportunities at opposite ends of the concept, a spectrum. A profitable ice cream franchise in one of the fastest growing corridors in North Texas, and a certified pre-owned Florida restaurant with nearly $200,000 in owner benefit and SBA lending available. 2 different businesses, verified performance teams in place.
All right, what ties them together is that the heavy lifting is already done. Strong sales histories, fully equipped spaces, trained staff, and sellers committed to a smooth handoff. Opportunities like these don't sit very long.
Okay, we're going to look at Frisco, Texas, listing 38411, represented by Jason Coleman, listed at $449,000. It's a fully built out, beautifully appointed ice cream franchise. Sales $326,000, earnings of over $80,000, currently run by an absentee owner. So that means an engaged owner-operator stepping in has an immediate opportunity to grow both revenue and margins from day one.
Yep. 1,800 square feet there. It seats 30 guests. It's a clean, modern layout, fully equipped with a walk-in cooler and freezer, espresso and latte machines for fancy coffee drinkers, display case, ice machine. They have it all there. POS system, digital menu boards. The rent, including all the triple net costs, is just over $6,000 a month, and a high-demand retail corridor surrounded by shopping centers, office buildings, gyms, and growing residential neighborhoods adds to it. Frisco continues to see rapid population growth with multiple new developments underway, so The customer base is only expanding. You know that's where the Dallas Cowboys are located.
Oh, yes, there are training facilities there.
The seller provides 2 weeks of training there, and financing options are available to help qualified buyers move very quickly.
All right, next is listing 38093. Aren't you impressed I knew about the Cowboys? That's pretty amazing.
I am.
Fort Myers, Florida, represented by Dave Whitcomb, listed at $469,000. This one comes with verified books. Listen, get this. $771,000 in annual sales and earnings for an owner of $184,000. SBA lending, of course, ready to go with 15% down for qualified buyers, putting a proven cash flow business within reach while keeping working capital in your pocket from day one.
All right. It's just over 1,700 square feet. It seats 50 inside, 6 outside, with a seasoned team of 6 already in place. Total rent there is just over $3,600 a month, with the lease running through June of 2027, but there's a 5-year option there as well, so that can secure your long-term stability. Beer and wine license is in place, kitchen is fully equipped, and the concept, featuring Italian and American favorites, is easy to execute and adaptable to your new brand. Current hours are limited, giving a new owner immediate upside by adding lunch, brunch, additional days, catering, or delivery, or all of the above. Fort Myers delivers strong year-round demand with seasonal surges and consistent traffic. 2 weeks of training are included for a seamless handoff.
All right, take your pick. High-performing Texas ice cream franchise, run profitably absentee, certified pre-owned Florida restaurant, large earnings, $185,000 in SBA financing, ready to go, turnkey, verified, ready for new owners to step in and take over.
Yep, so if either of these connects with your ownership goals, click Get Complete Details or Get Complete Package to pull the financial and connect with the listing broker. Our certified restaurant brokers are standing by to walk you through the numbers, the financing, and all the next steps.
All right, speaking of next steps, let's talk about closed deals, because every closed deal is a person who took a leap of faith, a seller walking away from something they built, a buyer stepping into something new. So this week, 2 of those people shared what that journey felt like with a We Sell Restaurants broker by their side.
And we never take that trust lightly. And when clients take the time to put their experience into words, it reminds us exactly what we're here to do.
All right, we're going to start in Farmington,
Okay.
Michigan, where Sam and Nora worked with certified restaurant brokers Mike and Gary Ely to sell their restaurant. And here's what they shared. Working with Mike and Gary to sell my restaurant was an amazing experience from start to finish. They were professional, knowledgeable, and truly had my best interest in mind the entire time. They made what could have been a stressful process feel smooth and manageable, always keeping me informed and answering any questions I had. Their attention to detail and dedication really showed, and I couldn't be happier with the outcome.
Smooth and manageable. That is exactly what selling a restaurant should feel like, with the right team behind you. The reality is that selling a business you built is one of the most significant financial events of your life. Having brokers who keep you informed, answer every question, and never lose sight of your best interest doesn't just make the process easier, it changes the outcome. So Mike and Gary delivered that from start to finish, and Sam and Nora felt every bit of it.
All right, next we're going to head to Chandler, Arizona. Kevin Bonan shared his experience working with certified restaurant broker Mike Smith on the acquisition of a restaurant. Kevin said this: he did an incredible job. The process lasted about 6 months and was complex because we are from France and applying for a visa. He was of great help throughout the entire process and rigorous follow-ups until closing. Every week until the end, we had a meeting to touch base and ensure we were ready for handover day. Thanks to this, we were able to take over the restaurant and start the very same day without any delays.
That's a great review. Let that sink in for a moment. An international buyer navigating a visa process, complex acquisition, administrative procedures, landlord negotiations, which we talked about, inventory, and a 6-month timeline, and they walked in on handover day and opened without a single delay. Doesn't happen by accident. It's a broker who showed up every single week, staying on top of every detail, making sure his clients were ready. Mike Smith didn't just close a deal, he helped a family start an entirely new chapter of their lives in a new country. And that's what the work's really about.
That's right. To Sam, Nora, and Kevin, thank you for trusting We Sell Restaurants with something this important. It's your confidence in our brokers that drives everything we do.
If you've worked with one of our certified restaurant brokers and would like to share your experience, we would love to hear from you. And if you're ready to start your own journey as a buyer or a seller, visit WeSellRestaurants.com to connect with the broker in your market today.
And speaking of brokers, listen, we talk a lot about buyers and sellers, but there's a third group of people always watching. Those who are not looking to buy a restaurant, those who are looking for a business of their own with the background, the drive, and the relationships to build something real. This segment is for them.
Yep. The We Sell Restaurants franchise is unlike anything else out there. Not a food concept per se, no equipment to buy, no build out to manage, no food costs or late nights. What you're building is a professional brokerage practice in your market backed by the only franchise system in the country built exclusively around restaurant sales.
Every tool you need already built. The technology, the marketing, the training, lead generation, brand recognition. You're not starting from a blank page. You're stepping into a system refined across hundreds of transactions and markets all over the country. The learning curve that would take years on your own is compressed because everything is already in place.
And the market timing right now is genuinely compelling. Restaurant ownership turnover is at one of the highest points we've ever seen. Sellers are ready to exit. New buyers are actively entering the market. What is needed are qualified, credentialed professionals who know how to bring both sides together and get the deals closed. And that's exactly what a certified restaurant broker does.
You nailed it, because this model rewards what good professionals already have. Market knowledge, people skills, the ability to build trust with business owners at a critical moment in their lives. So if you have a background in restaurants, finance, sales, or franchising, those skills translate directly. You are not starting over. You are applying what you already know in a completely new direction, and you're never doing it alone. You have peers across the country closing deals, sharing what works, and raising the bar together.
No inventory, no employees to schedule, no kitchen, just a professional practice built around one of the most active transaction categories in the country. Visit WeSellRestaurants.com/franchise to learn more. The restaurants in your market are changing hands. The question is whether you are the one helping to make it happen.
All right, let's take a quick game. We're going to play a quick game here. Two buyers, same budget, same goal. Buyer 1 spends 18 months negotiating with a franchisor, finding a location, building out a space, hiring from zero, training a brand new team, I'm already exhausted, and hoping the grand opening brings enough traffic to cover the bills while they figure everything out. Buyer 2 spends that same budget stepping into an existing franchise location with a customer base already walking in the door.
Right, same brand, same systems, same franchisor support, but buyer 2 skipped the part where everything is uncertain and expensive and exhausting.
Say exhausting again, because I was exhausted just reading all
that.
Right?
Yeah, that's the franchise resale advantage in a nutshell. And honestly, it's one of the most underutilized paths into restaurant ownership in the entire market.
Here's what makes it so compelling. When you buy a franchise resale, you're not buying a concept and a hope. You're buying a track record. Real sales numbers from real operating history, a team that already knows the menu, the systems, and the customers, supplier relationships already established, and financials that show you exactly what this location is capable of producing before you write a single check.
Sure, and the franchisor support doesn't go anywhere. National marketing, training programs, supply chain relationships, technology systems, they all transfer with the brand. You're stepping into a structure that took years to build without having to build it yourself. For a first-time buyer especially, that changes the risk profile of the whole decision.
And what's fun about this category is the range. We work with franchise resales across every segment: quick service, fast casual, full service, co-branded concepts, dessert and beverage, emerging brands, legacy brands, entry points that work for a first-time buyer, and multi-unit opportunities that make sense for an experienced operator looking to scale efficiently. The inventory is broader and more varied than most buyers realize.
And the key is knowing how to evaluate them correctly. That's where most buyers need a guide. Franchise transfer requirements, brand approval timelines, royalty structures, lease assignment terms, territory rights, all factors that determine whether a resale is genuinely priced right and whether it's the right fit for you specifically. Getting it wrong is costly. Getting it right with someone who does it every single day is a completely different experience.
If you've ever thought about owning a franchise restaurant but assumed you had to build from scratch, we want to change that assumption today. The smarter path is already built, already operating, and waiting for the right buyer to step in.
All right.
That does it, right?
That should do it, yeah.
Okay, this week's top sales, listing, and franchise opportunities. So if you're buying, selling, or exploring a career in restaurant brokerage, we're here to help.
Great deals move quickly. Click the link in the comments or visit WeSellRestaurants.com to learn more.
If you enjoyed today's show, hit that thumbs up, share it with someone interested in restaurant ownership.
Follow our page so you never miss a new listing. We'll be back next Friday with more updates.
Have a great weekend, and remember, our name says it all. We sell restaurants.